Day, and thank you for watching the Six Sigma Yellow Belt introduction video. And at sixsigmacert.com, we have training for all of your process improvement and Six Sigma needs, such as business process management, Six Sigma Black Belt, Green Belt, and Yellow Belt training. Now we're going to get right into this video, and our objectives are we're going to have an introduction to quality, and we're going to determine what is Six Sigma, and then we're going to determine what is lean. So quality, Dr. Deming, and Dr. Deming was probably the godfather of all of quality. He was born in Iowa in 1900 and then passed away in 1993. He worked in Japan starting in 1950 after the war and brought quality to Japan. And Dr. Deming is one of the big reasons why Japan has become such a quality involved nation and actually, took over a lot of the manufacturing of automobiles and other manufacturings of goods. So Dr. Deming says on process, 85% of the reasons for failure to meet customer expectations are related to deficiencies in systems and processes rather than employee. The role of management is to change the process rather than badgering individuals to be better. Dr. Deming created 14 points of quality. And if you go to any major university or you take any major statistic courses, you'll probably learn of Dr. Deming's 14 points. So let's get right into the points. One is basically create consistency of purpose towards improvement of product and service with the aim to becoming competitive and stay in business and to provide jobs. Next is to adopt a new philosophy. We are in a new economic age. Western management must wake up to the challenge, must learn their responsibilities, and take on leadership for change. Next, cease dependency on inspection to achieve quality. Eliminate the need for inspection on a mass basis by building quality into the product in the first place. The next one is in the practice of awarding business on the basis of price tag alone. Instead, minimize total cost, move towards a single supplier for any one item on a long-term relationship of loyalty and trust. Next is improve constantly and forever. The system of production and service to improve quality and productivity and thus constantly decrease cost. And then the next one here is institute leadership. The aim of supervision should be to help people and machines and gadgets and computers and everything we have nowadays to do a better job. Supervision of management is needed of an overhaul as well as supervision of production workers. The 14 points continued. Drive out fear so that everyone may work effectively for the company. Next is to break down the barriers between departments, people in research, sales, design, production. Everybody must work together as a team to foresee problems in production and in use that may be encountered with the product or service. The next thing here is to eliminate slogans, exhortations, and targets for the workforce asking for zero defects and new levels of productivity. Such exhortations only create adversarial relationships as the bulk of the causes of low quality and low productivity belong to the systems and thus lie behind the power of the workforce. The next one we have is eliminate work standards. So eliminate the quotas on the factory floor. Substitute leadership. Eliminate management by objective. Eliminate management by numbers, numerical goals, and substitute leadership. Remove the barriers that rob workers of his right to pride of workmanship. The responsibility of supervision must be changed from sheer numbers to quality. The next one here is institute vigorous program of education and self-improvement. And finally, put everybody in the company to work to accomplish the transformation. The transformation is everybody's job. Now we're going to discover, what is Six Sigma? And what Six Sigma is basically it is a statistical measure of 3.4 defects per million opportunity, a 5-step continuous improvement methodology called DMAIC for existing processes, a 5-step process for creating new processes called DMADV, define, measure, analyze, design, and validate. And it is a business management philosophy focused on quality. Six Sigma assumes that knowledge to improve a process is inherent to the organization and its employees. And Six Sigma provides the process, tools, structure to execute and sustain improvement. Now, to further define Six Sigma, it is basically a defined approach to quality that focuses on the vital few items that make a large impact on the output variables. And if we look at output variables, those are things that affect the customer. Output variables are always customer driven, and not only from an external point of who buys a product or sells a product, those are customers internal to the organization. So, that it could be any of those types of customers. Let's look at some numbers around Sigma and why it would be important. So currently, if Peyton Manning has interception ratio, he has a 3.6 Sigma, which is 1 interception every other game. If he had a 3 Sigma, then he would be throwing 1 interception every half. If he had 4 Sigma, he would be throwing 3.5 interceptions every season. And if he had 5 Sigma, he would throw 2 interceptions in a 16-year career. And if he had 6 Sigma, he would have 1 interception every half millennium. So that sounds really, really good and almost impossible. But what if you're on a plane? There's almost more than 45,000 plane takeoffs and landings every day. And if they were only at 6 Sigma for plane crashes, there would be a plane crash every 5 days. It's a good thing that they operate at greater than 8 Sigma. Now we're going to go into discussing a little bit about lean. And lean is a method of focusing on waste. And waste in Six Sigma is called, in lean, is called muda in the process. And that's a Japanese word for waste. So there are 7 types of waste. 1, we have defects. In lean, defect is identified as the same in Six Sigma. It is the failure or a product service to meet specifications within caused audits and rework. Overproduction, when more of a product is produced than the market demands. In manufacturing, producing too many cars than people will buy. Transportation, physical movement of the inputs or outputs in a transactional environment, moving physical paper documents would be an example of this. Also, creating too many systems, creating a new application for everything you have rather than having one application that a user can work through all of their work items. Waiting, whenever there is a handoff of work within the process and the work item must wait before the next step, process to be formed. Inventory, any work in a process or finished product that sits and waits to be processed, sometimes known as the backlog. And we have motion, the physical movement of work item within the process from one workstation to another. And then the last one, 7 here, is processing. Any process does not add value to the customer, so it would be a non-value added step. Now we're going to have some introduction to roles, and there is a role for everybody in Six Sigma. First of all, we have leaders, and they're basically our champions. We have team coaches, and those would be our master black belts. Team leaders would be our black belts. And also we could have team leaders that could be our green belts, and they would be part of the improvement team. And they would be led by the black belts and master black belts. And then we have all associates. And so we would create awareness to everybody in the company around Six Sigma and how everybody can help. And like Dr. Deming says, make it everybody's job to improve. So the advantages and challenges to Six Sigma and Lean. Some of the advantages is in Six Sigma, we uncover hidden root causes, help prioritize most leverage opportunities, and quantify success. A lot of times in project management, there is no quantification of successes during projects and putting projects and systems and applications out there. And then improve steps that do not add value. With Lean, the advantages are speed, attacks the whole process, and it's more intuitive. The challenges of Six Sigma are basically, you could go into paralysis of analysis, looking at data and trying to determine what to do. The time it takes to run through Six Sigma projects can be time consuming, and then data can be misinterpreted. Next, for Lean, some of the challenges can make changes that are unnecessary or worse, have a negative impact in other areas of the organization, and less applicable outside manufacturing, requires fundamental change in management philosophy. The question comes within the yellow belt is kind of, how do we select, resources such as black belts and master black belts, people that can be there and coach and also be there as full-time project leaders. So black belts, they're full-time project responsibility. They're focused on 1 to 2 teams and selected driven by projects. Master black belts are full-time positions supported by many teams developed into expert resources. Black belt skills, they're team leadership skills, they have project management skills, they have problem solving skills. Master black belts have cross-functional experience, analytical and technical skills, coaching, mentoring, and teaching skills. And responsibilities for the black belt are responsible for projects, progress, leadership and planning, teams work, and link to the team champion. Master black belts develop black belts, facilitate team successes, provide process improvement, and statistical technical expertise. Now, in conclusion, Six Sigma is an approach based on the DMAIC process and DMADV process. It reduces variation and is based on 6 standard deviations away from the middle or the mean average of the process. It is focused on the vital few items that help reduce variation in the process. Thank you for watching this video, and for all your Six Sigma and business process management training, please visit six-sigma-cert.com.